This is Doug, and welcome to the Practicing Accountant Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about goals. There's a chance that you have the wrong goals, and it's not your fault. But there are a version of goals that can help your firm get to where you want it to go, and then there's a version of goals that will keep you spinning on the hamster wheel perpetually. We hope you enjoy this episode. If I remember correctly, you're not a big movie guy, is that right?
I would not consider myself a movie buff. No.
And if you were a movie buff, you're not a horror movie buff.
Oh, I mean, fuck no. I hate horror movies.
Well,
Actually, if it's a ghost, I'm out.
no
If
ghost.
it's like the Chainsaw Massacre guy, that's fine because, I have a chance. I can shoot him, I can stab him, whatever. But a ghost, what the hell are you going to do? Like,
So it depends on the probability of your being able to defend yourself.
I think that's a pretty reasonable take on it.
Okay. And so anything that floats or is made of plasma or is made of something that you can't tangibly touch and poke through or shoot through, you're definitely not going to that movie.
Yeah, Supernatural, I'm pretty much out.
So what about aliens? What about aliens? How do you feel about aliens?
I'm not a fan. I mean, what was that alien movie with Mel Gibson?
Oh, Signs?
Signs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was terrifying. I mean, they did a great job. But
So it isn't just whether you can kill it or not. There is a scariness element to this for you.
for sure, I don't like to be scared, but
No.
I can handle it better if I can think my way through the situation.
So what if it's a movie about dudes that are just, ripping up aliens, just like shooting them and taking them down and winning? Is that
That's Men in Black. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, man, that's really far from a horror movie. Like, I'm thinking like the aliens, like that came out in the 80s, I think. James Cameron, Aliens movie. Did you see that one?
Not Alien.
Not Aliens, the sequel, Aliens.
Okay, I don't think I saw that one.
No. Well, that one's great because they send the Marines after these aliens, and these are some badass Marines. They're space Marines, and so they've got all kinds of space guns. And
yeah, I'm
they,
good with that.
They do
I'd
pretty
fight
good
that
for
fight.
a while. They do pretty good for a while, and I won't spoil anything for you, but it doesn't end well for a lot of Marines in that movie. But tonight I'm get to go see the new Alien movie, Alien Romulus. This isn't a plug for the movie. I'm just super excited. I may have mentioned this here before, but I really, really, really like going somewhere where I don't have to think.
Mm.
And I think both you and I and most of the folks that probably are listening to this, they spend most of their day thinking.
Yeah.
Like, thinking about clients, thinking about answers, thinking about solutions, thinking about problems, thinking about guidelines and restrictions and what they can and can't do. And when I get to the end of the day and I like to turn that off however I can, but that's not always available because there's stuff going on at home and there's stories to be told. And here's what happened today. And here's what we need to do tomorrow. And here's what the plans are this weekend. And it's just thinking.
Yeah.
But in the movie theater, and there's other ways, but the movie theater, I go in there, the lights go down, and then I'm done. Like I literally think of nothing for 2 hours, and it is just a relief.
Yeah, I'm the total opposite. If I'm in a movie theater, I'm sitting there thinking of what I should be doing instead of sitting in this dark room with a bunch of strangers that are probably annoying me.
So where do you go? So another area of flow for me is building Legos, which sounds goofy, but if you give me a set of instructions and a bunch of bricks, like I'm just with the bricks and the instructions for however long I decide to build for. It gets boring after a while, but I'll spend a session for like 30, 45 minutes, and it's like a deep cleanse. But it's just, again, because it's a place where I can go and I don't have to think. I don't feel stressed. I don't feel, the pressures or, the things that are required of us as parents and professionals and humans. And it's just a great place to just go and turn it off.
Yeah, where you don't have to feel on. I mean,
So if it's not movies, what is it for you? Where do you go to turn it off?
Projects,
How
building a
many
deck,
houses?
or
Ah,
yeah.
mm.
I have cows, so cattle projects, ranching projects. Put on a good podcast and just do my thing, or just no music or podcast at all. Just hang out and just soak it in.
So you can come over to my house and do my deck this weekend then.
Sure, sure.
Although I will tell you, I am going to stain the deck this weekend, so that will give me a sense of flow too. Because I'm like
There
you,
you go.
same thing: yard work, mowing the lawn,
Yeah,
pruning, picking, whatever. It's a good place for some turning it off as well.
yeah. And with
I made
kids,
a
you have to be
mistake
on all the time.
all the time. Like there's no off. Like it's
No, no.
I hate to admit this, but I forgot my daughter at dance on Monday night.
Mm.
So I was in my office at home working on whatever, reading some articles, and I had taken her to dance like an hour before. And I was sitting there working and no, I wasn't drinking. and I got a text message from my daughter saying, "Daddy, where are you?"
Uh-oh.
And I was like, and it's funny because it didn't click then. I was like, "I'm downstairs," and sent it back. And I was like, that's such a weird question to ask. And so, because her room's upstairs. And so I called her. I was like, what's going on? She's like, where are you? I'm like, oh.
Oh shit.
And now the dance place is like literally 3 minutes from our house. So it's not like
Mhm.
I had to like make her wait for hours or anything,
Right.
but still. But it was a moment where I think I got too much into the flow of work and forgot where I was or what I was responsible for. But you're right. Kids don't leave a lot of room for having that time.
Well, that's because you just turned 49.
Yeah, right. That's a memory problem, right? That's an
That's
age
so
problem.
happy
Yeah.
birthday, by the way. I haven't
Hey,
actually
thanks.
wished you
Appreciate that.
in person, so
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right. So enough of turning it off and kids and forgetting and aliens and
yeah.
ghosts.
Let's
Although
turn it
I
on.
know
And
I
we'll
know how
talk
to,
about
yeah,
something.
now we'll turn it on. So today it's about stop setting goals and create vision instead.
Hmm.
I hear all the time about goals and firms, big, small, solo, thousands of people, they're always setting goals. And they get into this. I mean, you want to talk about something that this would be a good topic. What fuels the hamster wheel in accounting and bookkeeping and in an accountant's life? Goals are the fuel for the hamster wheel. And unfortunately, those goals, all they do is turn the hamster wheel. Another revolution, another year, a little bit more growth, maybe a little bit better realization, maybe getting rid of some clients and adding some others, but really ending up in very much a similar place in a year's time. Maybe even more stress, maybe even more hours, maybe even less balance or opportunity in the life. And it's because of goals, because people take the wrong perspective of goals. They think of goals as short term.
Mhm.
And that's not to say they shouldn't be. It's just they think about it as like, what do I need to do this year? What's important this year? What would be great this year? What would be something that would be really, something that we be able to brag about in the clubhouse or share at the society or whatever. And it's not about the goals. The goals are a derivative. The goals are a subset. A goal is something that comes next. What comes first and what is primary and what is most important is vision. It's having a vision for what it is you're trying to create. That drives goals, tactics, strategy, everything you do. And so if you're setting goals and working hard to accomplish them and getting them done and patting yourself on the back, kudos to you. Congratulations. But if you're doing that without vision, where are you going?
Right.
Like, what are you doing? Like, what is it you're trying to create? It's like I talked about Legos, right? Like, if I can't see the picture of what it is I'm trying to build with my Legos, and I'm just kind of like stacking pieces together, and my goal is I'm going to put 10 pieces together by the end of this next 15 minutes. Well, I do it, and what do I have? I got like a
Nothing.
block of bricks that, maybe it resembles a helicopter or something. But was I even trying to build a helicopter? Was I trying to build the Batmobile? Was I trying to build a city, a building? what? Like without having that vision, what are you building? What are those goals really attaining other than just another turn on the hamster wheel of probably a less than desired experience in accounting?
There's a great analogy in there somewhere. If you are chasing amount of bricks you can put together per hour without a vision, um, it's probably going to look like shit.
Oh yeah. Or you're not going to know what to do with it, or it's not
Yeah.
going to be useful, or it's not going to be
Yeah.
what you intended it to be. And so, I mean, there's even, I don't know if you know this or not, but there's a coaching tool out there that Lego actually sells, and they have these Lego representatives that go into corporations and they bring their little Lego packets in and they teach them how to work as a team and how to have vision and how to have goals and all these things using Legos. And I didn't think about that till now, but they actually do. It's not just analogy. Like they actually, implement that in
Definitely.
big companies. I actually thought about doing it, and I was like, wait, I don't know how many accountants would like me coming into their offices with bags of Legos and telling them this is what they need to be better at. So,
This will solve all your problems.
yeah, right. I've got the fix right here in a toy brick. Um, but the vision is if there are goals without vision, you're putting the cart before the horse. This is Doug. Sorry to interrupt this episode, but just wanted to remind you of our membership. If you'd like to learn more, visit us at www.thepracticingaccountant.com, where you can learn more about the benefits of membership and the opportunity to work with me, the CPA coach. Again, www.thepracticingaccountant.com. Now back to our episode. And in order to get the horse before the cart, we got to have that vision. We've got to understand what it is we're trying to create with our firm. Are we trying to become the city's leading construction bookkeeper? Are we trying to, corner the market in lawyer bookkeeping and fractional CFO services? Are we trying to become the number one tax preparer in our region that serves whatever, startups and tech? Having that vision for what you're trying to build in your firm. My vision could be I want to get to 75 clients and I want them all paying me and being ideal type clients, and that's it. And I don't want any more than that. That's enough to pay me comfortably, as well as enough leverage in resources to do it. And that's all I want to do.
And I even
But
think that's too granular. Like, I think your vision could be
maybe,
what you want your life to look like, how many hours you want to work, and how much income you want to work or want to make, and what your day to day looks like. I think it can be even broader than what type of clients or what kind of niche you have.
I got I've got a coach, and once we had a discussion about how I was trying to create a simple life. And, simple life basically meant that I had work that I enjoyed doing, that fulfilled me. I had a home that I was proud of and could take care of, a car that worked. I had enough to, take care of my family and give them everything they needed, plus a little bit of what they wanted. And that meant, buy them shoes when they needed them, and also took them on vacation once or twice a year.
Sure.
And that was my vision, to your point. Like that is still, kind of my vision for my lifestyle is, fewer clients, better fee, a simpler experience. The hours are always, they're regular. They're not easy. I'm not trying to be unrealistic with the vision for my life, but it is that I work, a certain amount of hours each week, and the rest of the time I don't. And I'm able to work in my garage and on my house and do those things. So yeah, you're right. That vision absolutely can, and this is especially true for solopreneurs and smaller business owners. It's hard to say because they're so tied to their business that you can separate the vision even. But if those goals are in conflict with that personal vision, that's something to be very aware of. Like if you're creating more work for yourself, it's going to take more of your time, you're not going to be at home as much or doing the things that you want to do as much. You got the wrong goals, but that's again because you're not honoring the vision either professionally or personally. So the call to action from this conversation is around vision and creating one, having one. in whatever ways that you can imagine it. I think vision. I think for some they would say vision needs to be something that's way off in the future that you're working most of your career towards, and when you get there, maybe you reset it if you have time in your career, or maybe you just stay there. And I think others say, like a 3 to 5 year. If you follow traction, the EOS model, the entrepreneurial operating system, they would recommend a 3 to 5 year vision. And where do I want this firm, my life, to be in either 3 or 5 years? And let's just pick 3 years. If in 3 years I want to say I want to be the most sought after coach in the country when it comes to professional accountants. And okay, so that's great. That's my vision. Is that obtainable? I don't know. Maybe not. But it sounds cool. Sounds good, right? From the vision, then you create goals for each of the years between now and accomplishing that vision. So those goals would be in sequence. So this year if I'm going to do this, I would need to probably, get more people to know about me. I would have to put all kinds of branding and marketing out there so more people recognize my name and what I do. Year 2 would be, I need to create a way that I'm working with more of those people that know about me now, so that there's more people out there that are not just hearing about me, but they're working with me. And year 3 would be, maybe I need to add some other coaches so that I've got this bench of coaches that are there to serve, and they see me as the person that brings them the coaching. And by accomplishing that sequence and set of goals, I'm able to accomplish that vision. But I don't stop there, because usually a goal, what happens with a goal? You say it once a year, you put it in your drawer, you get to the end of the year, and if you remember it, where you put it, you pull it out, maybe, and say, did I do it? Yes or no? And you maybe pat yourself on the back, or maybe you don't. And maybe then you set the goals for next year that you're going to get dusty for the next 364 days. Goals are not the end. Tactics is what's next. So if you have a goal for a year, like I need to have more accountants know about what I do, then I need to have tactics, say every 90 days, that are moving me in that trajectory. Like I need to go out and meet with some social media marketers, and I need to drive up the amount of content I'm putting online in Q1. Q2, I need to put a advertising blitz out on Google and Facebook and spend some money to get people to notice me. Q3, I need to speak at a convention. I need to go to the Colorado Society or CPA Engage or AICPA Digital Conference, whatever. I need to speak so people see me up on stage talking about this as the expert that I am. Q4, I need to do whatever. So the goal, the vision, gets carved into 3 sets of goals. The goals, 3 goals, get carved into 12 sets of tactics for each of those 90 days. You've got 90-day tactics, annual goals, and a 3-year vision. But everything that you're doing is aiming at that vision. And the vision defines everything that you're doing. And so the goals without the vision are just goals for the sake of goals.
Now, what's below tactics? Would you call that tasks or?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that works. That works. And
so you need something to define what you do every day, instead of spinning wheels doing something that doesn't, attribute to the tactic, which doesn't attribute to the goal, which doesn't attribute to the vision.
Well, this is where the Pareto principle comes in. I talked to a professional today that, he has got his fingers out there doing all kinds of things all at once. Well, only, a quarter of those or 20% of those are actually doing the thing that he hopes to accomplish. The other 80% of things he's doing are doing nothing but just kind of distracting him, taking his energy and time, keeping him off of the focus of where he needs to do. And so if you step back and look at your activities and your efforts beyond billing clients and doing the work that you're being asked to do, what value are you getting from those tasks or those behaviors? And are they pointed at a tactic, at a goal, at a vision? And that's where the opportunity lies in this conversation is like, forget your goals for now. Like you shouldn't have goals unless you have a vision. And if you do, they're just, make it to next year, which only perpetuates the hamster wheel. Like if you want to experience accounting in a different way, then create a vision and goals to get you to that way. Otherwise, you shouldn't expect anything different. I mean, what's the old definition of insanity, right? Is do the same thing over again and expect a different result. Well, if
Hmm.
you keep setting goals the way you always have, don't expect anything to change because
They're just arbitrary.
you're just going to grow a little. You're going to grow 10%. You're going to raise your fees 10%. Maybe that'll mostly make up your growth goal is just by what you raise fees by.
Right.
You won't lean further into a niche like you promised yourself. You won't join the industry group because you don't have an ideal client in your vision that you're trying to attract. There's just so many pieces that are missing in the goal setting process without having that vision. So how do you create vision? I've seen it. I've done it with clients a lot of ways. Like I've had clients draw their vision. I may have shared this before. And, I had a client draw the vision of their firm and he drew a building that had like 3 or 4 floors and a parking lot and a sign out front. And, he actually, kind of included some niche, focus in how he presented the firm in the drawing that he made. And, again, I know I've shared this before, but, not last year, but the year before, he bought the building.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the building now, and it's his, and he's currently not filling it with his own firm. He's filling it with kind of like one of those hoteling or whatever you call those businesses that rent out office space.
Oh, yeah.
But he will fill it at some point. The entire building will be full of his people doing their work. So for him, it was a drawing. For others, it's just like what you said. What do I want my lifestyle to be? But forget what it is now. Forget what it has been, but focus on what you'd prefer your experience in accounting to be, and just map that out. Like what time are you going into work? What kind of clients are you serving? How hard are you working? How much time are you getting with family? How many vacations are you taking? What kind of car are you driving? Those kinds of things can go into that vision and just kind of a brainstorming exercise. Others really like the market approach. Like, how am I going to be positioned in the market in this vision? Am I the leader or the expert in a thing? Am I the service provider of a certain, suite of services that defines my competitive advantage over the others? So some it's market driven in their vision, and some it's significance driven. If you look at what are the 6 needs? It's no, that this is different than a hierarchy. This is an updated version of the Maslow's hierarchy. The needs are connection, or love and connection, certainty, significance, growth, contribution, and variety. Those are the 6 updated needs based on Maslow. And vision is going to incorporate a certain amount of each of those needs. So like significance, for instance, some people in their vision will see them as that leader, as that I need to be at the top and be known as the best. For some, it's just certainty. I want to make sure that I've got enough to provide for my family and have an experience I want to. For some, it's love and connection. Like I want to be really deep with my clients and really know them and be invited to their weddings and take care of their kids. When it comes to some of the other need variety, like I want to have a vision where I'm doing a lot of different things for my clients, where it's not just returns. It's not just bookkeeping. Like I'm doing valuation and expert testimonies and things of that nature. So you can leverage those needs to help define your vision based on where you fall. Because I think everyone kind of has a natural tendency to need things differently than, like you and I need different things differently. Like you might like one thing or need more of one thing than I do.
Yeah. Horror movies, for example.
Yeah, right. Ghosts, and aliens, and marines, and spaceships, and all that crap. But the opportunity in this conversation is to step back from your goal setting process. Ask yourself, do I have a vision that these goals are attached to? If your answer is no, then you have an opportunity to make a much more fulfilling goal, one that you know is aimed in the direction you want to go rather than just another year of this. And that opportunity then comes in, let's create the vision. And that might be a Saturday morning where you sit down and draw it out. It might be a team meeting where you bring your staff together to discuss it. It might be you on a mountain after a hike with a notepad drawing out what you see for your business in the future. And once you have it, then it's reverse engineering. It's what are the goals that I need to set for myself so that I get there in the amount of time that I want to, and then reverse engineer those into tactics and, to your point, tasks, so that you know what to do every day. You know what to hold yourself accountable to every quarter. You know what to expect at the end of each year, and you know where you're going to be in 3 years.
Awesome.
There.
Perfect.
That's my tirade today.
I appreciate it, Doug.
It's fun. So I'm going to go see a movie about aliens.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Cheers.
See ya.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Practicing Accountant podcast. We hope it was insightful and hoped it also helped you create a vision for your firm or business that you can then create goals to get there. Don't put the cart before the horse. Make sure you have vision before you have goals. The goals are what's going to get you there, as well as the tactics and possibly even the tasks. But we do hope you enjoyed this episode. Please visit us at www.thepracticingaccountant.com to learn more. And please share and like this episode. Thank you very much for watching.